Welcome to the show, everyone. It's the Crypto Lark. Today, I got to interview the guys from ECOMI to discuss their upcoming token sale, putting crypto collectibles on the blockchain, and a hardware wallet, and an app, and so much more. We're going to get into that interview after a massive thank you to you guys for being part of the crypto community. Your support makes all the difference to the channel, so thank you so much. And you do have to remember that this is not financial advice, guys. This is just the opinions of one man talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. This is a token sale. Please do your own due diligence before investing your own money, because there is always a certain amount of inherent risk and there is no substitute for doing your own research. Unfortunately, this sale does exclude citizens of the United States and Singapore. Furthermore, the team at ECOMI has reached out to me to do a sponsored interview of their project, but I have, of course, reserved the right to ask any kinds of interesting and fun questions. So let's get into it. Everyone, I'd like to welcome to the show Dan and David from ECOMI. Guys, welcome.
Hi, guys. Hey, how are you guys?
Now, let's start off with the elevator pitch. What are you guys doing?
Sure. Well, ECOMI basically focuses in two main areas. Our first is in the hardware wallet area, which is this little bad boy, which we'll talk about more in a moment, I guess. And secondly, we're focusing in the crypto collectibles. I'm sure everybody is familiar with crypto kitties, which basically exploded over the past sort of year. And what our sort of unique angle is that Dave has been in the licensing space for many years, working with some of these top licensors. And we're really working very hard to bring these guys into the blockchain space, bring all of their digital assets into the blockchain as crypto collectibles.
Nice. So Tamagotchi's on the blockchain, essentially, kind of stuff. Very cool. Well, let's start off with the hardware wallet. So that's an interesting entry point. So your hardware wallet, waterproof, it's bendable, you got Bluetooth enabled. Can it also like fix my sink and fix my car? It seems like it's doing everything.
Version 2.
Now, about the hardware wallet in particular, it's a card, so it's not like a ledger where you plug it into your computer, right? So this is it right here.
Yeah. Actually, it's quite funny whenever I'm out demonstrating this and I sort of hand it over, people instantly just, put it into their pocket. I'm like, no, it's not my business card. It's actually my hardware wallet. And like, oh, really?
Give me back my Bitcoin, thank you.
Exactly. So yeah, as you say, it's basically a hardware wallet along exactly the same lines as Trezor or Ledger, except for the fact ours is wireless, Bluetooth. And it's the size of a credit card, as you can see. So, so it's very portable. One of the things we feel is that as crypto gets more and more adoption going forward, people really want access to their crypto in a very easy way. And by having this ultra portable, being able to take it wherever you go, whip it out of your wallet if you need to, and use it on the fly. That's one of the main advantages of this.
Nice. And so I know that Ledger's security features, for example, if you try to enter the password incorrectly 3 times, it actually resets the wallet. Do you have a similar security feature set up on yours?
We don't have a feature like that, but it is if anybody finds this, or they, if you lose it, it can never, like, for example, like if I drop this and then you found it, you would be able to pair it with your phone, you'd be able to put all of your crypto on it, but obviously you'll never, ever be able to access anything of mine that's on there. And the security is very high. It uses the government standard CCELA 5+, and the Bluetooth encryption is extremely secure. One of the other features is that it's it also has you've got your recovery seed. So if you do lose it, no worries. Like any other hardware wallet, you can just back it up with your recovery seed, and your balance is restored right away.
Very cool. And how cost competitive is this wallet going to be? Now, I know that if you're participating in the ICO, you'll be able to get one then, but eventually this will be on shop shelves somewhere. So, the Ledger is currently going for about 80 euros. How much is this going to cost?
Yeah, 80 euros. What's that in USD?
About 100 USD approximately, I think.
Yeah, our price point is a little bit higher. It's going to be up around in the 179 area. That's because, you know, there is some fairly sophisticated technology in here that's not cheap. You know, obviously, like, this is essentially a ledger or a nano compressed into the size of a credit card.
With extra features.
Yeah, sorry?
With extra features. You have Bluetooth and all this stuff, which Ledger doesn't have, unless you get the Ledger Blue, which is like 279 euros or something.
Yes, exactly. So we're kind of sort of fitting in between. What we obviously are going to be working very hard to bring that price down in the future. But there's a lot of extra scope for this card. Like, we actually have 5 chips within this card. Obviously, the secure element, the Bluetooth, and the NFC, and there's 2 other chips that are currently unused. So we will be looking to expand the functionality in the future as well.
Awesome. And how about retailers? How is this actually going to get to market? Is it going to be just on a web shop or an Amazon, or do you actually have brick and mortar businesses which are you at least in talks with, if you can't announce them yet, but who are going to be selling the card?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So at the start, we're going to be giving away the card during the crowd sale, as we mentioned earlier, and then it will come into our web store direct to consumers. And we are actually discussing with a number of retail chains. So we are making a retail box product to go out. So here's our box product. It has all our area on it. Yeah,
cool. Yeah. David's actually been in the retail and distribution for 20+ years. So he has numerous international distribution. So yeah, part of our key strategy to get the wallet out there is, number one, sell it direct to consumer, like everybody else, but also get it into all the tech stores right around the world. We think people sort of seeing this on the shelf, it might bring a whole lot of people into crypto as well. They'll be like, wow, what's that? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Okay, so next feature, ECOMI 1. So this is a digital wallet for your crypto and for your fiat, which you can access through the card.
Correct. So essentially, ECOMI 1, which is coming out in Q1 of 2018, is basically the secure wallet. However, it's going to these 2 little things down here are the charging terminals, by the way. I just mentioned that the card is fully rechargeable, lasts up to 4 weeks on a single charge if you use it 2 to 3 times a day. If you use it less than that, obviously it lasts a lot longer. So these 2 chips here are going to be replaced with the UMV Debit chip, and then you'll be able to spend your fiat and your crypto on the fly anywhere in the world.
Great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So that kind of helps, kind of leap past the whole situation where we've had a lot of crypto debit card companies which have promised to come to fruition, like 10x, for example. I ordered a card more than a year ago, I think at this point, about a year ago somewhere, but it's never come, right? And so you're actually going to be able to deliver these, and is it going to have a Visa MasterCard logo on it?
At the moment, we are in discussions with those guys, but nothing is finalized. One of the things that because obviously I was an investor in things like 10x and all that as well, pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to use it in certain areas. So we've actually worked quite hard, or actually not we, actually Dave has worked quite hard on the regulatory side, understanding exactly why these cards haven't worked in the past and what's caused the problem. So we've already done quite a lot of work in the past, working with these regulatory bodies, understanding exactly why the other cards have had the issues that they have, we are actually in talks with. And I'm sure that we are following the correct line and path, and that we're not going to have any issues the same as these guys. But with any kind of crypto spending cards, it is based on the region, so it's regional. You might know from 10x that's available mostly across Europe at the moment because of the regional licensing. So ECOMI 1 will be rolled out region by region. We can't actually say which regions they're going to be rolled out to yet. Obviously, we're going to try and do the biggest ones first. But yeah, it's still it's still a very new area, this whole crypto.
And so with the Fiat wallet, what are the challenges in actually me putting US dollars on my card? Am I gonna have to go through like KYC and AML stuff?
For fiat, you won't have to do a KYC, and we are actually in talks with a number of PSP providers that are going to allow people to either just load their wallet up with fiat directly, from a credit card or potentially from a bank account, or obviously that you can buy any kind of crypto and send it directly to the card.
Nice, I like it. Now, let's talk about ECOMI Collect. So, crypto collectibles that I can store on my card, I assume.
Yes. 100%.
Very cool. So obviously we had crypto kitties, and that's kind of the most famous iteration of this crypto collectible idea. We have Pepe cards, and we have Tron dogs, and we have all kinds of stuff going on. So those are all blockchain based projects. Obviously you're going to be able to bring those in because that would seem like a nice fit. But are we also going to bring in the Tamagotchis of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our main goal with ECOMI Collect. As you mentioned, the whole crypto collectibles craze has gone nuts. As you mentioned, we've seen so many come out now, and they're all amazing products, doing really, really well. David has actually been in the licensing and gaming industry for 20 plus years, along with his retail experience. He's a very, very accomplished entrepreneur. And so he's been dealing with a lot of the very, very big brands, from the likes of sort of Sanrio, Capcom. These are the companies that he's been working with throughout his career. So he has already very long and established relationships with these guys. And that's what we're working on right now to really help these guys come into blockchain. I mean, they have a plethora of digital assets available that, right now just basically go out onto the internet and copy pasted, sent around to everyone. But what we're really trying to do is, in the future, you'll be able to have your one-of-a-kind, as an example, Star Wars or one-of-a-kind Marvel characters. I think this is really going to bring a lot of people into the blockchain space who may not be in it now. One of the other things we're really trying to do is with our app, ECOMI Collect, is keep all of the technology behind the scenes. The collectibles industry itself is massive. More than $200 billion per year is spent on collectibles. And I just want to give a quick little intro into collectibles, because a lot of people who aren't really into collectibles don't know too much about it. And when we're talking about collectibles, we're referring to like stamps or coins or little figurines. And this is the industry that's huge. Like Dave and I right now are in Japan at the Japan Blockchain Conference, and we went to the sort of the collectibles area of town, and it's just crazy how many collectibles are out there. So the interesting thing about collectibles is that over the decades, they have just evolved into almost every medium. Like you mentioned before, the Tamagotchi. People were collecting these. They collect the small toys. They collect badges. It's a huge industry. And now, thanks to blockchain, we actually have the ability to record this ownership of digital assets, or in our case, digital collectibles. So we are able to help this collectible industry transition into the digital space now. So it really is another massive area that's about to be hit. And so our goal is to bring a lot of these collectors from outside of the crypto space, and obviously all the crypto guys, into crypto collectibles.
Nice. Now, when I was a kid, I used to play Magic the Gathering, and obviously that's a collectible card game.
Exactly.
Now, are we looking at any partnerships like that? Who are your partners already, and who are you aiming for?
Yeah, so the partnerships, what we are discussing right now is we have divided the ECOMI Collect into the 5 main categories, where number one, we cover the animations. So these are a lot of anime, for example, Naruto, Bleach, these will probably come on board. And then we have a movie content side with film, which we talk to Warner, Sony, Universal. And this is covering all their TV series and movies. And obviously we want to bring things that's interesting into it. Then we have what we call the classic characters, which is characters that when you're a childhood. That's possibly Disney coming up type of characters. And then we have gaming, which is basically from your online games or your PC, PlayStation games. And fifth one, which is basically artists. So we also see the collect sector is also going to work for a lot of artists who are very creative doing their art. Could be a street art. They're never able to commercialize their artwork, and now they can put it through our ECOMI Collect to make it work for them.
Very cool.
Main thing about the Collect business is that through blockchain we can verify ownership, authentication, timestamp, and on top of that, most important is that we can make it how rare it is. So like you mentioned about Magic the Gathering, you have your common cards, your uncommon, your rare. So we'll have that type of aspect into the Collect sector. And we also will be bringing out 3D animated. As of yesterday, we were discussing with a Japanese film company about their character coming on board, and they have a great asset of 65-year worth of asset, and how we utilize it could be a DVD, a CD cover, record cover coming on with animated on it and moves. So there are sectors that we are looking at, and just covering who are we talking to. Basically, we want to make sure that ECOMI Collect is at the go-to place for the original content, which what we mean is premium licensed content. So every aspect of it, right now the space is very new. So a lot of the content providers are signing up MOU with us and understanding the technology behind it, going through their regulatory work with their lawyer and understanding what category do they fit this under at this stage. Because it's not really just gaming or selling a physical product, because the product that you issue on are going to be crypto. And secondly is that it's going to be also augmented onto our storage card, which we'll do. Should we do a demo?
We'll demo, people? So we've got one of the big things for us is that collectors love to show off their
to look at their stuff, right? I'm just thinking, like, if I had a rare, let's say a Star Wars picture, I'd want to have it on my wall so I could see it once in a while.
Yeah,
look at this. Look at this. So that's you're holding the card, and
this is a Tokidoki figure that we have put on as a demo. And you tap it, this is going into your showroom and showcase things you have. You can pull it back, forward, and basically. And idea is that it works off so the ECOMI Collect, it's not just another card that just try to turn it around so everyone can see it. Here we go.
That's great.
Yeah. So the whole tangibility side was really, really big to us. So obviously this is just a very early demo at this stage. We plan to have a lot of these characters in 3D, being able to walk around or do some kind of cool action. And we have a really, really cool showroom feature as well, where you're able to set up your virtual showroom. So let's say, for example, I own, 20, 30 of these digital collectibles, and then I can set them up in my digital showroom, and I'm able to add objects to that and customize it whatever way I want. And then one of the really cool things is that you can share that with anybody. So anyone else who has the ECOMI Collect app, I'm like, hey man, check out my cool showroom and look at the collectibles I've got. Create some real FOMO on these collectibles. So it's going to just, because that's what it's all about. People, it's about the rarity. People going out and finding these collectibles that are rare. As Dave mentioned before, that we do have 5 different levels of rarity, starting from common, and going all the way up to ultra rare, which we sell at different price points ourselves. After that, they go into our secondary market, and this is really where the value of the collectibles come in, because if there is, for example, like I mentioned, we get a one-off Star Wars character that we sell as an ultra rare, which will be for around about $550. As soon as that hits the collectible market, it's worth what anyone is willing to pay for it, and it will essentially go through an auction. And that's how these collectibles start to gain a lot more value and a lot more price. Yourself and probably a lot of people watching might be aware that I think it was a month and a half ago, a crypto kitty sold for around $120,000. People are paying big money for these crypto collectibles, and they pay big money for like collectibles in the real world right now as well. And so we believe that is going to 100% transition into the digital space as well.
Well, it's like you said, it's a $200 billion annual industry, which is huge, and the fact that that's starting to move digital in places like, Japan and South Korea, where everyone's just connected, it's going to be big. And it's really, really interesting to see this evolution of the collectibles market. Pretty soon you'll be able to have your little virtual world where you can have your virtual collectibles, which is pretty cool. And I know a lot of people are going to respond to that message. I want to move on to your next feature, which is the ECOMI Vault. So this is going to be data protection, intellectual property protection, usernames, passwords, all of this stuff. And is that going to be, again, on the card?
Exactly. Yep. So it's all going to be on the card, and the main sort of factor is what I put the card. Yeah, is that so all of the what we're going to do is link all of the access to this data to the private keys, and those private keys are obviously stored on this card. We also have coming up in the coming months a browser extension. So what's going to happen, similar to like 1Password or Dashlane, you're going to be able to have a small browser extension. And sorry, just for those of you who don't know, 1Password is like a password manager. So you come to a website, and rather than entering your details, you can click the 1Password and it will enter it for you. So these services are very, very good. Don't get me wrong, I use them myself at the moment, but they are still fully centralized. And that does pose a risk. I mean, even I still feel a little bit nervous that literally all my passwords are with 1Password. So what we're planning to do is, number one, have a very similar service, but make it decentralized and link all of that data to your private keys. And those private keys are stored on the secure wallet. So when you come to log into a site or try to access some very sensitive information, you're going to use the browser extension, assuming you're doing it on your computer, and then the wallet will actually prompt you to press the button to release that information off the card, or sorry, to access the private key on the card to release that information. So it's a very, very, very secure way that you can store your passwords and your files. We've all got files out there or data that is very, very secure. And right now our options for security are on our laptop, or a lot of people use Google Drive or Dropbox. And again, I'm not saying these guys have bad security. It is all very good security, but it's still very much a centralized world. And that's one of the main things we're trying to do with ECOMI Vault. There is one more layer to ECOMI Vault, which is more of a commercial level layer, where it actually allows people to protect their IP. So, for example, let's say, we created a product, and that product needs to get manufactured in China. Right now, the way that the plans and the blueprints, and et cetera, are all sent to the manufacturing plants is generally via email or Dropbox. Again, these very, very insecure ways. So this commercial layer of ECOMI Vault will actually have both parties sign a smart contract at either end. And once that smart contract's signed, which can also be linked in with this card, only then will the access be available. And then at that point, all of the activity around all of those files is recorded on the blockchain. So at no point, when I've passed my sensitive intellectual property over to the manufacturer, it's tracked 100% along the way. So if there's ever any leakage or breach or anything, it's going to be very clear who downloaded that file, when it was downloaded. And in addition, to make it even extra secure, I could actually send one of these wallets to the manufacturer. So the only way they could access it, or people in their team could access it, is again by pressing the button on the card. So it's not something that you might use to log into something really basic. But it's it's offering another very, very strong and secure level of protection for people to both individuals and commercial companies to protect their data.
Absolutely. For multi-million-dollar patents, you take a few minutes and go through a few extra steps.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. And so then all this is going to be accessible. All these features we talked about are going to be accessible via an app on your phone.
That's correct. Right? Yeah. The ECOMI app. I can actually give you just a little demo. We've actually just so obviously our secure wallet is hot off the press. Here it is, nice and vacuum sealed. I'm sure we've got our security certificate there.
Nice.
It's all very nice. But we've actually just in the final throes of completing our app before the crowd sale.
So just in the meantime, I'll just show you guys about the hardware. So once you switch it on, it shows you your Bitcoin balance.
Cool.
Yeah, this is our demo card, so there's not much.
Yeah. And you press it again, it goes through Ethereum, press it again, your Litecoin, and so on. and our ECOMI tokens will also be stored in here as well.
And if I can just jump back, regarding the collectibles as well. So there'll be a part of the wallet in the app which you'll be able to store all of your crypto collectibles as well. You know, like I mentioned before, some of these, especially if if you're a collector and you're collecting ultra rares or even rares or super rares, they have some significant value to them. So same deal with crypto. You know, if you've got like $1 million in Bitcoin, you're not going to store it on Poloniex or Bittrex or whatever. You're going to want to put these somewhere very safe. So, so here's our app. Sorry, the lighting's actually not too good here. I think we've got a bit of a.
You can see it okay.
Yeah. So basically, we've just tried to make it really nice and simple. We've got all the coins on there. Obviously, our ECOMI at the top, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. And so we've tried to make it very, very easy to help bring people on. So can you see that all right?
Yeah, I can see it okay. And so that's my Bitcoin wallet. And then also, let's say I've got 5 different collectible kitties that will also show up on my app there as well.
Absolutely, yes. So within this section here, so once we've completed the ECOMI app, ECOMI Collect section of this wallet, there will actually be another section in here for your collectibles. And then when you click on that, it will basically list all your collectibles. And at that point, you can send them on or send them off. So, so if I go, for example, through to the send, I can go through all the basic send process. But then one of the other sort of security features of the wallet is that before I send it, I'm going to be prompted to first up confirm the balance on the screen. I can't give a live demo at the moment, but confirm the balance on the screen. So the app will say you are sending X Bitcoin to CryptoLark. It'll also confirm that. So I'll press the button to confirm the value. And then once I've done that, it will say, please press the button a second time to actually send the crypto. So that's just another reason the card is very secure.
Cool. Cool. I love the idea of making it just so portable and easy to use, and it looks like just a simple card, but it's actually a very feature-rich card with a screen and all these different things, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, in fact, it's actually the I don't know if you might remember. I'm a little bit older, so I do remember the old Nokia 3110s. You know, the unbreakable Nokia phone. Well, essentially, this is a Nokia 3110, just basically compressed into this very, very tiny form factor.
Nice.
So it has some pretty cool technology in there.
Now you're doing a lot of different things. We have the hardware wallet and the ECOMI Vault and all these different things, and all of it centers around the card. But do you think that's too many features? Do you think you're trying to do too much?
Very good question, one that we actually get asked all the time. And what I like to respond to is that Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will ECOMI. So obviously we have our first products off the production line already. So this is a lot of thing that many people coming into a crowd sale or who are in the ICO space, a lot of people don't have a product. Even in Japan, yesterday walking around, people are just amazed that we actually do have something when we're going into our crowd sale. So this product's already completed. Our ECOMI Collect is already underway in the development, and our other products such as the Vault and ECOMI One are coming out next year. But what I'd like to say also is that the 3 founders in the company, both David, myself, and Joseph, we are all experienced business entrepreneurs. We've all had numerous businesses. All had numerous businesses ourselves, run teams from small to large, all around the world. So for us, setting up essentially what is going to be 4 different divisions, developing 4 different products, is not a huge ask. It's something that many companies do. It's something that I've done in my previous companies, in my past software development companies. We always have multiple software projects running at one time. We're not just developing one. So we feel very, very confident that we can produce these products. In addition, they are actually in different areas of expertise as well. So for example, ECOMI One, the majority of our technology is already ready for ECOMI One. There's a little bit of R&D left to do, which is going to happen throughout the end of this year, which will allow us to release it next year. So the hardware side of that is already kind of taken care of, but we don't need to build up another big team. After that, for ECOMI One in particular, it all comes down to the legal side and the regulatory side. So, you know, Dave has worked tirelessly to align ECOMI with some of the world's leading legal teams in the space to really help us step through these regulatory hoops that we're going to go through for ECOMI for ECOMI One. So yes, it is a question we get asked all the time, but we do feel very, very confident that we can produce these products.
Okay, awesome. And what about the token itself? So during the token sale, I will actually be getting the ECOMI tokens. And so what are those going to do?
That's correct, yes. So the utility of the ECOMI token is around our dApps, and our two main dApps are ECOMI Collect and ECOMI Vault. So we actually have a fairly strong staking model where, for example, in ECOMI Collect, we have something called the Master Collector. And the Master Collector gives you a lot of different access to certain things. So say, for example, a new collectible series comes out. If you're a Master Collector, you might get early access, or you might get some free airdrop. But in order to become a ECOMI Collector, you have to do numerous different things. And one of those things is stake a certain amount of coins, a certain amount of ECOMI tokens. The more ECOMI tokens you stake, the higher chance you have. There are a bunch of other factors in there as well. So, you know, it's not just a money game. You know, it's all about, you know, what collectibles you own, the duration you've been in there. So that's one side of Collect, is the staking side. The other side for people who may not be so much into crypto and may not want to do this kind of staking thing, is that all of the collectibles are purchased with the ECOMI tokens. Yeah, the ECOMI token is basically the currency of ECOMI Collect. You'll buy a collectible with, you know, 1,000 ECOMIs, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible at our end, again, for the people who aren't necessarily in crypto, to be able to come in, set up an account, buy some ECOMI tokens very, very easily with their credit card, and then use those tokens to buy the collectibles. Very much in the same way that, you know, when you're playing a game and you can't be bothered grinding through all the levels, so you'll just go in and you'll buy some gems with your credit card, and then within the game, you use those gems to buy some extra armor or whatever it's going to do to accelerate you. So it's very, very much the same model as that with Collect. Same thing kind of goes with ECOMI Vault. So people with Vault, people will have the option to either stake, and so they can just stake X amount of ECOMI tokens based on the features that they want. And then the cool thing is that once they have decided that they don't want to use the service, if that ever happens, they can simply just, you know, pull their tokens down and then, you know, do whatever they want with them, sell them or convert them. So effectively, they're not really having to pay for that service. They're just having to stake their tokens for the duration of the use of the products.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I like it. Now, what about the actual partners that you have already? Now, I know we kind of talked a little bit about where partnerships might go, but who's actually signed with you to this date, and what are they bringing in? And do you have any venture capital firms that have taken a big interest in what you guys are doing?
So regards to partnership in the Collect, we have signed up our first one, which is Tokidoki. Basically is a New York brand. It's now actually a US Italian designer, Simone Lingo, and that's number one. And number two, what we've been focusing quite a bit on is actually the hardware manufacturing. And obviously, it's hard to combine 6 steps into one car. That we do have a stake into the factory. So, in regards to the investment side of things, we have been in the private sale process, and what we have been doing quite carefully is actually finding good partners on board, rather than someone who just want to buy our token for the purpose of just making money out of it. As mentioned, we are a utility token. The tokens are used to purchase collectible, stake in the ecosystem. So that's how we like to see how it works. We have actually spoke to numerous venture capitalists, and we are actually going through that selecting process right now, and that's part of the reason why we're here in Tokyo today.
And some of the other partners that we've brought on board is that we've been very, very selective with our advisory board. As we've discussed, we've got 4 different products, and so what we've done is that when we've assembled our advisory board, we've chosen some very, very key people that are going to really help us bring these products to the fore. So, for example, under Collect, we have a number of really, really good partners. The first one I'd like to mention is a guy called Cam Punia. He's a very long-term friend of Dave's, and he has been in the collectible space for decades, and he is actually responsible for bringing quite a famous card game to the world called Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not sure if you've...
I've heard of it. I've heard of this thing.
Yeah, so this is just one example of the products that Cam has brought to the world. And also Dave has also been responsible for bringing a lot of these collectibles into numerous regions such as China, Asia Pacific, Taiwan, etc. So yeah, people like Cam are going to be instrumental to number one, just help us make sure that we're offering the best collectible products that we can. Some other partners that we've got are some really good gaming firms, such as Red Button Gaming, Pixion, and we're really using these guys as our content providers. This is another way that we are helping manage our workload. So we aren't forming, a massive team of 100 or 200 people in-house. We've actually partnered with these guys to help us create our content. So what I mean by that is we will be working directly with the licensors, getting all of the digital assets, and then we'll work out, we're going to offer this in 3D, is there going to be animation, what gamification are we going to have involved, and then working with our partners in the space, these guys are going to help us create a lot of the actual content and bring it over into the ECOMI Collect app. And this is the same story with all of our products. So, with ECOMI Vault, we have one of our advisors, Paul Adams, owns a very, very successful and large IP firm called Everidge IP. And yeah, this is pretty much the same kind of story with each of our products. We're partnering with people who are really adding significant value as advisors to really help bring our products forward and make them the best that we can.
Awesome. Now, about the token sale itself, you guys are going to be raising $45 million in total. Is that correct?
22 million is what we're raising.
Where'd I get 45 from? Okay, $22 million in total. And 50% of that is going to the public, which is a great number, of course.
Yep.
So that 22 million, how are you guys going to spend it? What's the plan on how are you going to allocate that money out?
Yep, exactly. So just into some rough figures, so around about 50% of that is going to ECOMI Collect. And the reason for that is in the licensing game, the licensing field, whenever you bring a new license on, obviously they don't give it to you for free. Otherwise, a lot of people would be doing it. So we have to pay what's called a minimum guarantee upfront. And that's our commitment to the license company to say that, yes, we aren't just some random people who are going to take your brand and throw it on some random product and put it out there and make money. So number one, these minimum guarantees are quite costly. Depending on the brand that you're doing. And, what we're working very hard is to make sure that we get global distribution rights to these licenses, and that we also get the licenses for numerous years. That's going to really, really solidify that the licenses and the collectibles we have in our app are going to be there for a long time, and that we do, where we can have some sort of global exclusivity. So that's why Collect is around 50% of the product. So we've got the licensing side, and then obviously we're building out the DApp. We've got, in addition to the DApp itself, we've got all of the content that needs to be created. So there's quite a bit going on in that particular product itself. And then for the remaining half of it, the secure wallet itself is already done and off the press. So we've actually funded that ourselves up till now. So I think it was around two or so million is going to be allocated to the wallet. And that really is just covering marketing, distribution. They aren't cheap to produce. So we obviously need some cash up front to roll off a lot of these off the press. Rolled off the press, and then obviously we've got our marketing and international distribution as well. Same goes for ECOMI One. We need to produce the product as well. There's a small amount of R&D that needs to be done, and the production of the product itself, and then a big portion of that is going into the legal side. So the product itself is done, but we have allocated a lot of our budget for ECOMI One into the regulatory side of things, because that's that's really what's going to suck the money on that side of things. And then Vault, same kind of deal, around about 2 million ISKI app, and then working with a lot of IP license companies, IP companies out there. And just to give you another example of that, so right now when lawyers or legal IP companies send data around, a lot of time they use sort of some proprietary software, and we're working in with a number of IP legal firms to use the software as their sort of standard for sending out around this sensitive IP. So yeah, so the breakdown is around about 10 million for Collect, 5 million for ECOMI One, which covers the product and the legal, and then around 2 to 2.5 million for each of our other products.
That's probably one of the most thorough answers I've ever had to that question. That's great. Well done. Well done. And now, okay, so when is the token sale exactly? And what is there any minimum or maximum that is involved in the sale?
Yes, so the crowd sale starts on June 30, so we're only a few days away now. The minimum, I believe, this is one of the facts that I probably don't have, is $100. But what we're really encouraging people to do is that if you participate $500 USD or more buying OMI tokens, we're actually going to send you out a free wallet. Which is already worth $180. So I think I might have to fact check this, but I think we are one of the first ICOs that is actually giving away an actual legit product straight off the bat in the crowd sale. So that's really cool, and we're aiming to get these sent out as soon as we can. There is a little bit of lead time on the run, but as soon as people start buying them, we're going to do our best to get them out as fast as we can, so people can get it in their hands.
That's awesome. Dan, David, this has been really interesting chatting to you. I think it's just a really great project overall, and they're doing so many things. You're tapping into markets that are up and coming in the crypto space, like the collectibles market, but then you're also offering a hardware wallet and a fiat gateway, and this is awesome. I really like it. So thank you guys for sitting down to take the time to go over everything with us.
Yeah, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Let me know what you think about ECOMI and their token sale in the comment section down below. Join the conversation over on Twitter, where we continue the conversation. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.